Hi everyone, it's Vicky here and welcome to another art journal video featuring Faber Castell. I'm working on a Moleskine sketchbook that has become quite bulky. I plan on cutting down the spine and let it breathe, as well as decorate the outside once my art journal is finished. Every page on this journal is available on YouTube as a how-to video, so make sure to check it out. Now let's start. I have glued down these two pages together for extra strength. I'm starting out with Faber Castell gesso and I'll go ahead and apply it using my spatula. Using a spatula instead of a brush will make my surface more textured. You can have pretty much the same results if instead of a spatula you use a credit card or a gift card. I'm applying gesso at the background because I want to use gelatos later on. Gelatos work great both on paper and on gessoed background, but I find that when my background has gesso, I can apply gelatos easier. Once I cover the whole area with gesso, I'll use my heat tool to speed up the drying process, but you can always leave it aside to dry. Now, as you can see, my surface isn't smooth, and that's exactly what I was intended to do. Now I'll go ahead and use my gelatos, and as I work with my gelatos, you'll be able to see the name of the color in the screen. Gelatos are very easy to apply, and they are great for creating quick backgrounds. Now you can use your finger to blend the colors together, or you can use one of these handy tools. It's a dabber actually, and works great. I'll go ahead and blend all the colors together, either by using my finger, the dabber, or even a baby wipe. If you are using your finger, it's always helpful to have a baby wipe close by, so you can add some moisture to your finger, and that really helps a lot. You can find this dabber tool in the Faber Castell Gelatos tool set that you can see in the screen. And I'll be using a baby wipe to blend the blue color. Now, as you can see, the yellows and oranges are very saturated, and that's the look you can get if you blend everything with your fingers. But if you use a baby wipe, then just because it's wet, it makes the colors more pale. It's all a matter of the look that you want to achieve. I decided to go with the paler shading, so that's why I went over my oranges and yellows to make them a bit more lighter. Gelatos blend perfectly together, and you can always add as much color on top as you like, as well as remove color using your baby wipe. Remember that gelatos react with water or with a wet baby wipe. Now that's my background, and what I need to do now is to seal everything down. I'm using gel medium here, and remember, your brush has to be very dry, so I'm making sure my brush is dry, and then I'll apply the gel medium on top of my background. This will make sure that my gelatos are not going to run. Now I could also use a spray fixative, but I was too lazy to go outside, and actually today is raining, so I prefer using my gel medium. I'll cover both pages with gel medium, and then I'll use my heat gun to speed up the drying process. To add more interest in the background, I'm using this Impression Obsession stamp with my big brush markers. Remember, the surface now is non-porous, so I can check the markers on my background and wipe them out before they dry. I have a few seconds to do that. I decided to go with a lighter marker, and as I'm using my markers, you can see the name of the color in the screen. And to add some more interest in the background, I'll be using this stencil with my white spackle paste by Faber Castell. I am using my spatula to apply the paste. And as I'm doing that, just to let you know that you can find all the products used, including the Faber Castell products, the stamps, the stencils and everything else below the video on YouTube. White spackle is a great medium, works on any surface, and you can add lots of dimension. And as I let it dry, I'll go ahead and use my stamps and my papers to create my focal points. I'll be using these hot air balloons by the Lone Phone stamp set, and I'm using various pattern papers to paper piece the balloons. Now my balloons are ready, and I'm using Faber Castell gel medium to put everything together. I am also making sure to apply gel medium on top of my images, and that will create a non-porous surface so I can use my big brush pens later on for shading. And once my balloons are in place, I'm using my pencil here and I'm just drawing some clouds. I'll use my scissors to cut around them, and then I'll use again my gel medium to stick them on my project. Not sure if that shows on camera, but this is a pattern paper with a grid on top, and I wanted to use this pattern paper to add some more texture and interest in my project. And now for the fun part. I'm using my big brush markers to add some shading. Remember, this is a non-porous surface, so I have a few seconds to move the ink around and smudge it with my fingers before it dries. Big brush markers have Indian ink that dries permanent, and you cannot do what I'm doing here in a porous surface like on top of a paper, because the ink will dry instantly. So if you want to use these markers for shading, you need to make sure that your surface is non-porous. The use of gel medium can guarantee that. The trick on doing these shadings is to use a marker that's the same color as your paper but a bit more darker. And never forget to go around your image. Now I'm using my lighter blue and I'll go all around the hot air balloons, and this will help them blend with the rest of the background. And also try to remember the basic color theory. So as you can see here, I'm going all around the balloon, but I don't touch the yellow areas with my blue, or I'll have a green shading. I'll use my orange, and that will help the balloon blend. Here I decided to go all around the balloons again with a darker marker, and that will actually add more depth to the image. And you'll see me later on do the same technique around the clouds, and notice that I also make sure that I don't touch my orange areas with my blue marker. And now I'm using my Faber Castell gesso with a bit of water, and I'll go over the clouds. I'm making sure that my gesso is transparent by adding the water, because I don't want to cover the texture. I just want to add to make the clouds just a bit lighter. I'm not sure if that shows on camera, but the grid on the clouds is not actually covered, but the clouds turn whiter. And once my gesso is dry, it's time to use my big scoop gelato and add some shading on the clouds. You can see that I can mix and match all the Faber-Castell products, and I can create shadings with gelatos or with my big brush markers. And now that my quote is in place, I'll just go ahead and add some details here and there. If you are watching my videos regularly, you know by now that I can go on adding details forever. So I just couldn't help it. I wanted to add some faux stitching on the clouds, and then nothing could stop me. I went ahead and added faux stitching on the hot air balloons. So that was the project for today. Make sure that you check the supply list below the video on YouTube. And I hope you had fun and got inspired. Thank you all for watching.